What are the features that make for a great electric bike lock? Finding the best electric bike locks starts with good security. Electric bikes may represent significantly more of an investment than regular bicycles, and so it's important that your bike lock do its job, and so we recommend using a bike lock with a high security rating to help deter e-bike theft. Convenience is a close second, since you don't want your bicycle lock slowing you down and making it too much of a hassle to park your e-bike near where you want to go. Today we're going to take a look at the 5 best bike locks for electric bikes on the market for this year. You can find timestamps and links to all the products we mention in this video down in the description below. Number 1. Kryptonite Fahgettaboudit Mini Lock and Amp Light Bundle. The trick to the New York Fahgettaboudit Mini isn't special technology. It gains its signature name and promise of protection even in the highest risk scenarios because of a big thick 18mm shackle. That's a lot of steel to deal with. Unlike the D1000 lower down, it is possible to cut it with an angle grinder. That's true of most locks, but it's also a lot harder dealing with it locked to a bike on the street than it is in a demonstration while in a vice. One challenge you might run into with the New York Fahgettaboudit Mini and in a bike though is that it's a small internal size. This keeps it less vulnerable to leverage attacks, but it could be a challenge with an e-bike. If you can make it work though, we like its price for the amount of security it provides. Pros. Double locking shackle design requires 2 cuts to defeat. Vinyl outer protects paint. Reasonable price. Keyhole cover. Cons. No frame mount option. Number 2. Onguard 770A SmartX Bicycle Lock with Bluetooth. Smart locks are a hot button issue when it comes to bike security. They have a tendency to worry people because of things such as battery life, but in the context of an e-bike, those concerns don't make as much sense. For one thing, many e-bikes allow for external charging and you could plug the lock in if you needed to. With normal use though, Onguard says to expect around 3 months of use. The Onguard SmartX 770A makes this list because it's both highly secure and highly convenient. From the security standpoint, it takes an already robust lock, the Onguard's Granite X Plus 540, and it adds an alarm function. It's always tough to know if anyone will pay any attention to an alarm, but with a 13mm double shackle design the lock is strong. Then to add that there's the convenience of never having to think about locking or unlocking the lock. With your phone in range the lock will unlock seamlessly, and if you need to allow someone else to use it, you can grant access. The downside of smart features is price. You can get a more secure lock for less money if you stick to a key. Pros. 3 months of battery life. USB-C charging. Double locking shackle design requires 2 cuts to defeat. 100 dB alarm. Plenty of space inside the shackle. Cons. Expensive for the security offered. Number 3. Onguard 8003 Pitbull STD U-Lock. When it comes to e-bike locks, this is the least secure option we'd consider. In terms of the overall lock market, it's a very robust lock and it's inexpensive compared to some of the most secure options, but in this list, it's at the lower end of security. However, even being lower on this list, it's still high security. Onguard uses a 14mm hardened steel shackle that's thick enough to render bolt cutters ineffective. It's also robust enough that a leverage attack would be equally difficult. It won't take long with an angle grinder though, even with a double shackle design that requires 2 cuts, and the insurance offer is half that of the New York Fahgettaboudit Mini. It still makes the list because not only is it priced lower than others, it has some great ease of use features. It comes with 5 keys, one that includes a light, plus a frame mount kit that adds convenience. Pros. Inexpensive. Protective plastic both top and bottom. Double locking shackle design requires 2 cuts to defeat. Lots of keys included. Cons. Frame mount can break over time. Number 4. Hiplok Gold Wearable Chain Lock. If you start to study bike security, you will no doubt run into the chain versus U-Lock argument. There are proponents on both sides and there's no good answer. Chains are better suited for different anchors or bike shapes, but they are also more hassle to carry with you. Even on an e-bike you'll have to figure out what to do with a bike chain. The Hiplok Gold solves this problem by being wearable when unlocked. The system allows it to hook together while bypassing the lock for safety and convenience. The links use 10mm steel for plenty of security, and if you choose the reflective option you can even add a big reflective hit into the clothing you wear. The only downside is all that security does mean you've got to deal with a bit of weight. Pros: wearable without being locked. Non-scratching. Reflective option available. Cons: heavy when worn. Number 5. Kryptonite New York Fahgettaboudit Chain 1415. The Kryptonite New York Fahgettaboudit Chain 1415 and Amp New York Disc Lock is another option in the massive chain lock category. It's even heavier than the Hiplok DXXL and the security is similar. In fact, the two offerings are similar in a lot of ways, but they are unique enough that each has a place on this list. The Kryptonite chain doesn't loop through itself the way the Hiplok does, and instead of a U-lock you get a lock that's a lot closer to a padlock. What Kryptonite does offer instead of the flexibility that comes with the Hiplok is an insurance offer. So I felt I had to give this thing a proper review. Buying it I thought for sure I was going to have to send it back, but turned out people were way off on this. I'm not going to get into how useful it is, I think that's more than obvious. I am going to talk about how functional it is to ride with. Quickly, all you have to do is wrap it somewhere on your bike. If you care deeply about scratching your expensive bike, then just give it up, and put your bike on a wall somewhere. You're a fool for buying something like this and expecting it to not scratch up your bike. Pros: shape of chain links helps defend against angle grinder attacks. The ultimate chain lock for high theft areas. Keyhole cover. Includes an insurance offer. Cons: not every link has a cover to limit scratching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe and hit the bell notification. That brings us to the end review and buyer's guide. Hope to see you in the next video. Now, in the comments what is your favorite one, and we hope you like this video. If you want to know the product price do check out the description box. Thanks for watching.